Yogah Karmasu Kaushalam.
One topic which is very well connected and very beautifully connected to positive psychology is happiness. So we need to talk about and understand the concept of happiness. Happiness is having a very different meaning for everybody. So happiness is very subjective. As I've written here in the slide, it's very subjective at all. Actually, it's very difficult to define it and very difficult even to understand. What is the meaning of happiness? It has a different point of reference for all of us. But somewhere we have to define it. We have to talk about it. So it makes a person feel fulfilled or satisfied. For example, I'm craving for something to eat. For example, my mother since childhood made very good sweets. She made very good kheer. So I'm just craving, and when my mother makes it today, I'm fulfilled and I'm satisfied. That could make me happy. But I'm not just talking of something tangible. Maybe buying a new car makes me happy, but that will be momentary. It will be for some time. I feel earning lots of money and being one of the rich persons in my city would make me feel happy. Yes, it would be able to buy you lots of comforts, but it is tangible. It will give you satisfaction. You feel fulfilled only for a short time. And then again, there will be some more emotions attached. A better way of framing it would be to use the term well-being. So we'll have to understand well-being to understand happiness. Today in psychology, I must tell you at this juncture, a lot of work is being done in the area of psychological well-being, subjective well-being. So we are going to look into that also. I cannot talk about happiness without explaining psychological well-being and subjective well-being. Psychological well-being is the extent to which a person feels comfortable, healthy, and satisfied with his life. So this is all physical well-being, mental well-being. So when you are comfortable somewhere, when you feel healthy, physically healthy, mentally healthy, I'm able to do this, I have so many capacities, oh, I'm so talented. And with all this, you gain satisfaction. So that is the meaning of psychological well-being. Look at this image. This man spreading his hands, looking at the sunrise. I thought it was beautiful. A very euphoric feeling when you look at that image. I felt so I thought I'd share it with you. So here somewhere, I've tried to tell you a little more in detail of what happiness is. So happiness is an emotional, physical, and mental state of well-being. It is achieved by having a purpose, a sense of meaning in life. True happiness leads to satisfaction in life and is distinct from fun, which is an important part of a balanced life, but is short-lived form of happiness. True happiness is based in the meaning and purpose, which gives you a lasting feeling of contentment throughout your life. This is for you to see. Happiness is not a destination. It's a way of life. I honestly think happiness is being present and finding the joy in every moment. When I was reading this, I got this thought. We always tend to say, we'll do this tomorrow. I'll do it in the evening. I'll do it next year. It will be a resolution of the next year. But if you want to be honestly happy, just enjoy that moment. Think positively in that particular moment that you have. And just be very joyous. And thank God that you are able to enjoy that moment. There are so many people who have even forgotten what happiness means. They have so many problems in their life. They're surrounded by so many issues in their life. And in the process of solving these complex issues, their entire life is spent. So if you are getting a moment of joy, if you're getting a moment of happiness, just take it, accept it, and be grateful. We talk about two types of happiness basically over here. Technically, you need to understand this. One is called the hedonic happiness. The idea of hedonic happiness dates back to the 4th century. Greek philosopher Aristippus taught that the ultimate goal in life should be to maximize pleasure. In view of this, then happiness involves maximizing pleasure and minimizing pain. If you notice that we as humans are always constantly cribbing about what we don't have. We are always talking about our pain, but we never try to derive pleasure from what we already have. So hedonic happiness talks about maximizing your pleasure. For example, you love pizzas. So right now I'm holding a pizza in my hand and I'm eating the pizza. So you must maximize pleasure from that and minimize your pain for whatever problems you have. In the American culture, hedonic happiness is often championed as the ultimate goal. Popular culture trends to portray an outgoing, social, joyous view of life. And as a result, Americans often believe that hedonism in its various forms is the best way to achieve happiness. Let me give you a few examples, which I have quoted here, of hedonic happiness. The pleasure that comes with, say, a good meal. I just gave you an example. An entertaining movie. Like just talking about my own self. In the lockdown period, I got a lot of free time. So me and my husband, we saw a lot of entertaining movies. We laughed and we really enjoyed them because it's been a very, very long time since I saw movies with him. So we would have an early dinner and sit down to watch the movies. So hedonic happiness is talking about take the pleasure as it comes. It's an important win or an accomplishment. Hedonic well-being. Raising children, volunteering or going to a medical school. Like see so many people these days are helping the doctors, helping the nurses. They're giving up their homes so that people can come and live there. People can be helped during the pandemic times. Hospitals are being helped by so many people. So these are things which give us a lot of pleasure. But these pursuits give us a sense of fulfillment also, of being the best that one can be, and particularly in the long run. Can you think of a day when you have helped somebody? Like some student comes to you and says, sir, I don't have the money and today's the last day to fill the fees. And you help that boy. He's promised to come back and give you that fees. But that's all right. But if you're able to help him at the right moment, it gives you a sense of fulfillment. Because he could fill the fees, he will be able to study further. Otherwise, maybe not. It's a focus on feeling good, seeking out experiences that provide us with positive sensations like pleasure, enjoyment, gratification. I must tell you that this word gratification is very important for us psychologically. Because when there is pleasure and you're enjoying an activity, but if you are not gratified, you don't feel good about it, then that whole task which you have done, or that whole act which you have done, does not seem to be complete. And inner gratification somewhere is satisfaction. But gratification is a better word because you feel gratified. It touches your soul that, I help so, like for example, you have elderly neighbors, and that elderly individual is alone, lonely, or an elderly couple. You're doing something on a daily basis. Like in the pandemic, we all feel like helping so many people who don't have help. So you feel gratified. That is hedonic happiness. Hedonic happiness is focused on being entertained, having a good time, chasing adrenaline highs, and constant adventures to provide personally pleasing experiences on the mind side. Sometimes hedonic happiness can be achieved by partying, by drinking, your sexual pleasures. So that is possible. Higher pursuits in life that can provide us with deeper meaning and value in the long term, like maybe the pursuit of truth and moral living. So sometimes the bigger picture in life, the deeper meaning and value in life can be attained, for example, by the pursuit of truth, or you want to live in a moralistic manner. Now we come to the second type of happiness, eudaimonic happiness. Eudaimonic happiness gets less attention in the American culture as a whole, but is no less important in the psychological research of happiness and well-being. These are some very important researches which are done today. Like hedonia, the concept of eudaimonic happiness dates back to the 4th century, when Aristotle first proposed it in his work. According to Aristotle, to achieve happiness, one should live their life in accordance with their virtues. Our virtues are very different, individual to individual, person to person, human being to human being, culture to culture. So he claimed that people are constantly striving to meet their potential and be their best selves, which leads to a greater purpose and meaning in life. So Aristotle claimed that we are striving in our life constantly to recognize our potential and do our best. Potential is your aptitude. And when you are able to recognize your potential, your aptitude, your talent, and you get a task or a work or your job according to that, it makes a lot of difference. Imagine, you were always wanting to be a guitarist, and you have marvelous talent to be a guitarist. When you play the guitar, the audience is just hearing you, watching you, applauding you. And in life, you get a chance to go ahead and be a guitarist with one of the finest orchestras or with the finest set of people, etc., and travel all over the world. So what's happening? that it gives more purpose and meaning to your life, rather than you just playing the guitar for which you're very talented at home, or maybe in a party, or maybe just at a friend's wedding. So it makes a lot of difference. The eudomanic life is to be had whenever we are in pursuit of fulfilling our potential. That way we find more meaning and purpose in life. But to realize our potential, we need what Aristotle called the real goods. By real goods, he meant those things which are necessary for the development of our potential, that like shelter, clothing, food, friends, but also arts, music, literature, and culture. In the modern world, there are certain things that we need to be able to do in our pursuit of fulfilling our individual potential. And in this sense, real goods are defined by their necessity to us as individuals. So eudaimonic happiness is the opposite of hedonic happiness in the sense that it encourages us to give up a momentary pleasure in favor of a long-term goal and lasting happiness. Like a mother, let's talk about a mother who is giving up her career, her job, everything to raise her children. So maybe initially when she gives up her job, she feels very bad about it and she is very upset about it. She's very emotional about it. But the long-term goal and lasting happiness would be when her children grow up to be very fine human beings. They're able to do very good studies, they have a very good career, and they get very successful in life. Eudaimonic views of happiness and well-being emphasize the role of self-discovery and personal growth as a means through which we achieve a truly satisfying life. So when eudaimonic happiness is there and there is well-being, what happens to you? What are the changes in you? There is self-discovery. You discover your own self, your own potentials, your traits, which you never knew that are there inside you. And when you recognize this, all this helps you to grow. Because once you recognize, you tend to explore, and it helps you to be a better individual and work in that particular direction. 6 pillars of eudaimonic happiness. Autonomy. Being an independent person who doesn't care that much about what other people are saying, their opinion, and is confident enough to pursue his or her own path in life. Here I would definitely like to tell you, if you see the achievers, you will find that they never cared for what other people said. Always you notice the society, community, people around you will always tell you, they will criticize you and often try to tell you, don't do this, this is not good enough for you, you can't do it, it's not possible for you. But if you have selected a path, if you feel that this is right for me, believe in yourself and make sure that other people's opinions are not going to matter to you. Because once you know that you are true, you're right, this is the thing for you, then you will be able to work much better. So autonomy. Self-acceptance. Accepting yourself wholly with your strengths and weaknesses and seeking ways to improve yourself constantly. You must have noticed that normally what we do is you always criticize your own self also. I can't do it. It's not possible for me to do it. I've tried so hard, but it's not happening. Maybe you tried once, maybe you tried twice. Here, I would definitely like to mention something that we always talk in psychology, and that is to have a reality check. Very often you notice that we get into things which we are not able to do, and we face failure and we are very upset about it. And then somebody comes and says, see, I told you, na, don't do it. So always have a reality check. Is this something that you will be able to do? Have the confidence, but make sure that, because there are lots of tasks which certain type of people can do, and there are lots of tasks which other type of people can do. Like if you have measured your IQ and your IQ has come out to be on the normal limit, so something like between 90 and 110 or 150, but you are insistent that you want to be a doctor, or your family is pressurizing you to be a doctor, you are not the bookish type, you are not the very hard-working types, and you are not the types who would sit on the table for a very long time and study and going to the clinic and looking at the labs and working in the labs and going to the different medical centers and trying to learn all the work. So being a doctor requires so many characteristics which perhaps may not be there in you. So maybe this profession is not for you. But when you get something which you like very much, suddenly you change and you are a very hard-working person and you start doing lots of things in your life which you never thought you would be able to do. So this is called self-acceptance. So accept yourself with your strengths and weaknesses both. We always want to show other people that I'm the best in this and I'm the best in that. But there are many kinds of tasks which are not meant for us. So when you face frustration there, you face failure there, you're angry with yourself and you feel I can't do it and you are depressed. The third one about Hedonic happiness is the purpose in life. Discovering something meaningful that goes beyond the small pleasures of life. Something that guides your very action and decision. I want to say something here about myself, because this is what I practice. In the summer vacation, on holidays, on Sundays, when other people are busy taking the small pleasures of life, I like to sacrifice them, because I know that I have a different purpose in life. And I would sit down and write an article, or I would sit down and read something very nice, very interesting, which I've been wanting to do for a long time. So the small pleasures of life, like other people in the family are watching television, maybe they're watching a lovely movie, or maybe they're doing something which I also could have enjoyed very much. But I want to give up that pleasure. Give up the pleasure of an outing or vacation. So at the end of 1 month vacation, I've been able to write a book. And that gives me more satisfaction. It gives me more purpose in life. Personal growth. The need to explore your inner potential to use it to pursue your real purpose in life. Growth, my dear friends, will not happen automatically. Growth will not happen just like that. You have to work day and night for it. My own professor, under whom which I did my PhD, when I went to him and I saw his biodata, he had 70 publications and most of them were international research publications. That day I realized, of course, I was a young student at that time, and I was just a budding psychologist. So I realized that this is where I'll have to reach in life. If not so many, at least I will try to have some publications in my life. So growth is possible only when you sacrifice these small pleasures in your life. and try to utilize every moment of your life. You may realize that we waste a lot of our time just like that. Today, technology is doing that to us, but we need to have personal growth. Environmental mastery. Learning to navigate your environment effectively by using the internal and external resources you have at your disposal. So learning to navigate your environment effectively. We often blame our external environment for it not being able to give us this or give us that. Had I been there, I would have done better. Had I been in that school, or had I been in that college, or had I been at the Harvard, I would have done better. So utilize your resources that you have to your maximum. Positive relations, investing in meaningful relationships with people who resonate with your needs, desires, and overall views on life. Here I want to say something from my observation, because this is what I have seen. We usually tend to give more weightage to people outside our family. So I'm not saying that don't do it. But people, see, I've written here for you, investing in meaningful relationships with people who resonate with your needs, desires, and overall views on life. So what do I mean here? I mean that people who are taking care of you day and night, your mother, father, your parents, your siblings, if you're married, your wife, your brothers, your sisters. These are people who are standing by with us, taking care of our needs and desires all the time. Do I need to tell you how much your parents have sacrificed for you? What all pleasures your parents have given up in order to save that money for you so that you can study better? So positive relations, we like to develop outside at the workplace. But people who are taking care of us physically, mental health, what you like to eat, what makes you happy, sometimes we do not resonate with them. I like this image. It's very complete in nature. Dominic Happiness and Hedonic Happiness. So I thought I'll share this with you.